Hi, we're up to the second last question now. Demonstrate how to back up the wallpapers directory to a share called backup on the server, and then restore it to the local test directory. So we need to make sure the test directory and the backup directory are there and available. So on our server, let's go to our file manager, to drive C. Let's create a test directory, folder test, and we also needed a backup directory. So let's create a new folder and call it backup. And this one needs to be shared. So we'll go to properties, sharing, advanced sharing, share the folder, permissions. We're going to remove everyone and add in the administrators group. Okay, so we add in the administrators group and give them full control. Okay, so that's the sharing. So what we need to do is do the security or NTFS permissions the same way. So click on the security tab. We go down to advanced and disable inheritance to get rid of all the inherited permissions, and remove the inheritance. Go OK, yes we want to continue, and we'll edit and add in the administrators group, ADM, and hit check the name. Click on the administrators group and go OK, and OK again, and give them full control. So now our NTFS permissions match our sharing permissions. Close, close, close. And so now we've got our two folders set up the right way. That one's a shared folder that we can back up to. This is a test that we're going to restore the wallpapers back to. Okay, so the first thing we need to look at then is when we open up the tools and have a look at the server backup, you'll find that it's not actually installed. It'll tell you here, it says that it's not installed on this computer. Okay, so what we need to do is add a role or a feature and go next. And this is the computer we want to do it to, next. And it's not actually a role, so we just go next. It's actually a feature. So on the features, we're selecting a feature now. It's actually the Windows Server Backup. There it is there. So we tick the box and go next, install. And that installs the Windows Server Backup feature. So once that's finished installing, let's just move that out of the road. So the installation has started. We're just waiting for it to finish. Okay, so that has succeeded. So we're going to go close. We can now run our tools and down to our Windows Server Backup, and it will now run because we've installed it. And I'm going to click on Local Backup. It does a little bit of setting itself up, so to speak. And we're going to perform a network backup. So we're going to back up once. Different options, we're going to go next, and not a full server, we want a custom, because we're going to pick the wallpaper folder. We're going to add an item. We'll go to drive C and pick the wallpaper folder and go OK, and then next. And we want to send it to not a local drive but a remote shared folder. So we're going to go next. And the location is /PDC for our server /backups. think it was called backups. Ooh, good question. Let's open it and have a quick look. Back here, /PDC, and it was backup, not backups. Okay, so it's backup, not backups. I'm going to have, this option makes the backup accessible to anybody who has access to the specified remote shared folder, which we know is only the administrator, so that's okay. So we're going to back up to that shared folder. That's what we're backing up. And so we hit the backup button. This doesn't take very long because the folder's not very big. It's only a couple of 100 megabytes, I believe. Okay. Oh, it's preparing. Okay. Found files. 41 files. 7 megabytes. It's backed it up and completed it. Okay, so I can hit close, and we'll see here, you know, there's a time, the backup, it's been successful, that sort of thing. And so, you know, part of what we need to do now is restore this to the test directory. Oh, my server just blue screened. Very nice. There's not much I can do about that. It's doing a memory dump at the moment. 85 complete. It's doing a reboot. Okay, so when that comes back in, we're going to restore. This is a perfect reason why you have to have a backup, in case something like this happens and you need to be able to restore what you've just backed up. So that's good. Lucky we made that backup and can restore it. That perhaps is a sore point for some people around here at the moment.
And what was the last? It's a shadow copy.
Yeah, we'll do shadow copies.
Previously, that thing we have done. No, first time.
Yeah. So in this here, the shadow copies and the roaming profiles were both things that were not done in this class. They weren't specified to be done in the class. But I've tossed them in there because they're useful to know. Okay. Of course I wanted to do a reboot. I don't think I could have rigged a better time for my server to fail than just after a backup to prove that it still works. Okay. Okay, so it's back in. Let's log back in again. The stability of this computer is obviously a bit dodgy. Okay, so yeah, we had a problem. It was that problem. I just put a random thing in there. Okay, so I want to go to Tools and back down to Server Backup. Luckily I succeeded at the right time. Local backup, I want to recover from that catastrophe of having my server blue screen. So I'm going to hit the recover button over here on the right hand side. The backup is stored in another location. It's on a network location. Next. And it's a remote shared folder is where it is. And it's /PDC /backups. Backup, sorry. Not backups. Backup and go next. And it finds a backup in there that was done on the 8th of June, and obviously that's the one we want. And we want to select some files and folders back out of that. And here we can expand it out, local drive, wallpapers, and I could select all of these, or I could select the actual folder itself, either one. So I'm going to select the entire folder, and I'm going to go next to another location, and I'm going to browse to this PC, drive C, to the test folder, and here you can create copies for both versions if there's already there, or you can override existing, which is what I'm going to do, or don't recover any that are already there. So, and I'm also going to restore the access control list or the permissions for that as well. So next, and recover. So it's completed. So we can see here that we've had a successful file recovery. Okay, and I'm going to go check that so that it's actually on the test directory. There's now a wallpapers folder with wallpapers in it. So the backup and the restore have worked, thank goodness, because our server failed. So that concludes this particular question. So